Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job, then Adwumapa On-Demand Services is here to assist you. Adwumapa On-Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Adwumapa On-Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.adwumapa.com.
She has a plan, a secret mission filled by gratitude and affection. She chooses her mother's favorite breakfast. Delight Foods, House Sakoko, a harmonious blend of flavors crafted with care and devotion. The taste of tradition and comfort. In that moment, their connection deepens, a bond strengthened by a shared experience. Delight Foods, House Coco, a delicious breakfast made with care and love in just 2 minutes.
This Airbnb in Dansoman Estate, Accra, is only $40 a day and offers all the amenities for a comfortable stay. It is also conveniently located 30 minutes away from the airport. We also have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for long-term rental at Ingleshi, Amamprum, 15 minutes to the Wage Togo and the West Hills Mall going for 1,500 and 1,000 Ghana cedis only. Call Parry Group on 053-866-3532, 053-866-3532. This is Parry Group of Companies.
Funding wallets on Taptap Send. Step 1. Click on Create Ghana Cedi Wallets below when you open the app. Step 2. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana cedis. Step 3. Click on the Confirm and Fund wallet below to confirm. Step 4. Your wallet has been successfully funded. Step 5. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana cedis. Step 6. Select or add new recipient. Step 7. Choose wallet as payment method. Step 8. Click on the Pay with Wallet below to confirm. Step 9. Your transaction is successful.
All right, thank God it's Friday. Busia for Mama about SVTV Africa. So when it's Fridays, Diano, 5:30 GMT. Mini lawyer wisdom Akao from Wise Smart Solicitors or UK, London. I'm turning a program or apa. Nene, Yabadia, Yasaba Bium, SVTV Africa fans, both Afro that than Mamuna Kwaba, new ones, the old ones, so you newer. Share your YouTube channel, that's why I'm making sure say over share link where will be following and subscribing to your channel SVTV Africa. So also your English channel or SVTV Africa, SVTV International, SVTV International. And SVTV Africa Foundation. Let's help together. Yes, streaming live. We're a live program. So also a Facebook page SVTV Africa. Nene, mine lawyer wisdom akaho. Obenfo. Mine naba. Ti onim say oh questions di abesa obisa na we UK nkomo NAD. Ti bibia concerning immigration matters. Bibia abesa ohun bia no. Obetimi e dey ato comment section or time ni do and emre so a you better screen so back in kind obey man pepe. But make sure some questions no repeat it. So they better wa for brantem. Time you do you better na we wano. Nti mami go straight FM DJ nyame. Share link we share Facebook share and cost free. O share is our share na we invite you be some be no untie information hu hia pa se na be nya esua de e wo channel we so nti wo hwa na wa share and I will share on YouTube so I make sure say we share on subscribe so I know make sure say what type of subscribe so my main go straight am in lawyer wisdom akao emra so no so lawyer
DJ
where's all
I wish I
lawyer wisdom akao wise man solicitor so for there
Boko also
anyame adom ene ya san ba biom
yeah Friday no a court is sending and rank
fast only one say days no yeah pray say oh month ni end ni nche kan sa so na see ehun say yenyini we akola opeso onyi ntem if the onyi opeso ya akola nso enyi yida oh lawyer ene ya ba ask lawyer o say ene den ye hwe o de abeto o say ye den ye hwe den
yo DJ made us say a chief for so yeah say and I chill be answer and then so nyame edi acheyen and we can only say thanks to the Almighty. And then the person share how to save money on home office applications. How to save money on home office applications. Yen na yen himself, and I am with brain himself. Home office applications no, eh not nibo adding, papa, and that the applications am a binomo, and they have paid over £5,000 on one person's application. And to some way, nipa mienu miensa enanya, and you be paying over £20,000 in the application alone. That is utria application fee now. There was the IHS now. You paying over £20,000. The question is, how much money are you making in a year to be paying £20,000 in application fees alone? Particularly if you are a family of 4 or 5. So, Matnasi and my collating me a few things are to together to how to save money on application fees or how to avoid wasting money on application fees. And I know and I will cast and for about 30 minutes or so. Then if you kind of questions we were then we treat those questions. But before Meko and Usono, we present me brief information with regards to young e-visa. DJ Yakasa about e-visa no. Now, young UK Hano set from the 31st of December 2024, the Home Office has already ruled out in front of e-visa. Now e-visa actually said very soon everything's going to be electronic. Won't crack any hard document and not paper. And some of the actually said, "Oh, as it now, everything is in the air, everything is in the clouds, everything is electronic. You can't touch it physically, you can't feel it, but who are sitting now? Ewo ekromha." And not any other electronic visa. No. But it also means that Ubewa sitna ansana and no abaye electronic. And yes, I will sit now when you can't go and have an e-visa done. So I want to take a brief look at certain requirements of what has to be done. The first one is that say yanga yawo biometric residence card, yeah, under EU rules. That is under EUSS, EU settlement scheme, and EU pre-settled status. So Wukra biometric residence card based or issued under the EU settlement scheme, wo panel automatically now e-visa. Marine Sisubium. Se Ukra residence card, biometric residence card, one automatically Ukra e-visa and our e-visa. And our settlement scheme also under EU settlement scheme now. What settled status is also automatically you have been granted the leave and also you automatically have an e-visa. No, you don't have to do anything. Young Ayakra residence card, pre-settled status, and residence card settled status issued under the EU settlement scheme, you already have the e-visa. No more yet shame. And I said the other time that there is a difference between biometric residence card and biometric residence permit. Baako yɛ card, ɛna baako nso yɛ permit. Wɔn mmienu nyinaa biometric residence, but baako ends with card, and baako ends with permit. Biometric residence card no, ɛno kyerɛ sɛ you got it under the EU law. Biometric residence permit, HSA, you got it under the UK law. There are two laws in this country in terms of immigration. So those who are under the residence card, pre-settled, settled, you don't do anything. Number two, those, and so you can access your e-visa. One hour biometric residence permit, which is granted under the UK law, you are also able to access your e-visa, but you have to go online and create an account. As a so-called creating an account, e-visa account. Now the information are almost here a step-by-step guide, and yet difficult. It is pretty straightforward for you to do. Step-by-step guide for you to create your e-visa account. Then you can access all your information and share with third parties. Either say Udibema employer, now who sampa who are sitting now with me na krum haye juma. And now upeso for rented dine landlords nso ever share code no now on so sampa who are sitting now krum ha over to me a rented dine because no landlord wants to be fined for for renting to ubia onia sitna. The government is going to fine. The Home Office will take them to the Home Office will issue them a fine, and they don't want to do that until the landlords will want to be sure say ubia or asitna. So that is it. And now upesa udi ekokoji driver's license. You also need proof that Uakrumha legally. And again, you need to produce a code, a share code for you to apply for your driving license. So based on these things, over to me, I get your e-visa biometric residence permit holders. Now, your frontier worker visa. Frontier worker visa, yes, also you can access an e-visa. Now, your Vignet or Vignette, whichever way you pronounce it, either Vignette or Vignette or whatever it is Vignette. Vignette. I call it Vignette. A sticker on see passport. Younger yet to quite ever from particularly one hour visit visa. One say, first stamp and see passport movie. The sticker be and I carry mu. And then your friend of Vignette no. And no, say, Vignette. One to me, you Vignette sticker, you cannot access e-visa. One to me, access e-visa. But as I said, we yet be for and to so of Vignette no passport no, not a indefinite leave to remain. What you have to do is the Home Office say you have to apply for NTL, no time limit. You apply for no time limit, or you apply for the biometric residence permit. The no time limit means you have indefinite, but any card so you apply for the no time limit and you'll be issued. Now, if you are issued on the card before December 2024, then you can use that to create an e-visa. But say young issue before then, of course, once you have a Home Office reference number, because there are three options to select a work application process. So you will select here, no, then you can continue from a honor a creative e-visa account. Very, very important. Now, younger, wet ink. It been also very old time people, no. Yeah, now indefinite, no, yeah, the seat passport, no, and mamma, udi, the stamp be a seat passport, no, now the amunsa actually also said you have, there is no time limit on how long the holder of this visa can stay in the country, which means that, indefinite leave to remain. But a stamp area still passport ID answer actually. In that case, also want to make I access e-visa. You can't access the because you can't scan it. Want to access it and to also here set over here the no time limit application. Now with what final so now the annual now you can use that to create e-visa no as well. Very important. And a young I want no physical document. Who are sitting but there's nothing to prove physically. Say who are sitting. You also do not need to create. You also cannot access e-visa unless you find another means of having a home office reference and or creating a no time limit. Apply for a no time limit. Now unya the approval. No, they are no. They are creating the e-visa. So yes, and here set yɛbɛyɛ e-visa no nanso ɛnyɛ obiara na ɛbɛsɛ sɛ ɔyɛ. Those who cannot do it with what they have will have to apply for the no time limit before they put in that application for the e-visa. So, we should take note of that. Now, the question is, or the next step is, so if you have a vignette sticker in your non-UK passport, you have a wet ink stamp in your non-UK passport, you have a form for affixing a visa, that is FAV, you do not have or were never given an immigration document, you cannot access the e-visa, but you have to apply. You have to apply. You need to apply for biometric residence permit, and now the no time limit. And Sana, you can go on to create your e-visa account. Very, very important. Now, if you are intending buy with a visit visa for 6 months or less, and I amount visit visa of 5 years, and at 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years in Pua, you don't need to create an e-visa because you are not expected to set Nakruma for more than 6 months at any particular time. And to anything 6 months and below, you do not have to create the e-visa. You do not have to create the e-visa. Your visit visas and any other type of visa which is less than 6 months, the requirement is, or you are intending to stay for less than 6 months, you are not required to create an e-visa account. Or you were granted an immigration status in the Channel of Islands or the Isle of Man, they don't have to create an e-visa account. And if you are exempt, if they are diplomats and their families who are also exempt from immigration control, Moon created an e-visa account. You don't have to create an e-visa account. And now, our right of abode, also you are exempt from immigration control, including if you're a diplomat or you have a right of abode. So right now, there is no requirement for you to create an e-visa. But as time goes on, more information will come up and then we'll see how that would go on. So, for example, you will need to get access to an e-visa if you have a type of visit visa that is tourism. You will not need to get access. You don't need to. That is what I mean. You do not need to get access to e-visa. Like I've just mentioned, we are visitor. You don't need to get it. If you have EU settlement scheme permit, you don't have to get it. Or electronic travel authorization (ETA), you don't have to get it. Certificate of entitlement proving you have the right of abode, also you don't have to get it. If you're a British citizen, or a British passport, you don't have to do the e-visa at all. Mono, you don't have to. And now we are Irish citizens who are also, you don't have to do the e-visa. Everybody else will have to get the e-visa or follow one step or the other and sign on e-visa. So please take note of that and know that it's not everybody who has to do it, but who has to do it depends on what status you have right now, or if you have to go one step before you eventually get the e-visa done. That is very important. So, from the 31st of December this year, all the cards would have expired, or majority of the cards would have expired. So what happens after that? What happens a day in the ABC after 31st of December 2024? So who are it now? Now, biometric residence permits, all issued by expiry dates no longer than the end of December 2024, are being replaced with the e-visa, as I've told you already. To get your e-visa, people need to register or set up an online account and go to the step-by-step guide, and that will help you. BRP means it will BRP. This means BRPs were expired on 31st of December 2024, but the person you can still hold your valid leave to remain. The fact that BRP no wuno and just was sitting on a lot of people are confusing it. A lot of people are getting this confused. The fact that wo card no ewu no enkyerɛ sɛ wasitena no ɛna ewu. Ayɛ te sɛ nea wokura Ghana passport. Sɛ Ghana passport valid for 10 years ewu a enkyerɛ sɛ wonyɛ Ghana ni bio. No, you are still a Ghanaian. You still have your rights as a Ghanaian. Passport no na ewu. The same way card no ewu mpo a enkyerɛ sɛ wasitena no ewu. So no, woda so wasitena. So you can carry on living and working in the UK. No need to panic. The next thing is you and here say ubakwakoye application fufro say u extend wasitna beyond the 31st of December 2024. No, let's get that right. Ebinumu dwen say 31st ni kosua as a new application. Now they are extending asitna no they be and tisa say indefinite. Indefinite is indefinite. Indefinite, it doesn't expire. It does not expire. So you don't have to do anything else. Younger, you want 2.5 years no. Share date now was sitting on the bewu, not the 31st of December. Share date now was sitting on the ebewu no. Now why your further extension? Because was sitting on the ewu, not because we card in the ewu. Was sitting on the air. Where then I would time I was sitting on the bewu. Over to me online. No why yet be there to share code and approve your right to work to your employer. Who follow that process now? I remember the exact dates now. Was it now ebewu? And now upa go back to letter now home office for Eddie Emma. Letter now home office for Eddie Emma. No, I'm with the application Emma and now a decision Emma no. Letter now with the no. Where it was so date ubesa no bewu no it was so and to share facade date no. Na efa eye ejuma, not the expiry date on the card. So please bear that in mind. Do not submit a new application to extend wasitna because 31st December but they be card no na ewu and not the wasitna no na ewu. Now documents that have been issued before the new, system, I've already talked about that. The big net, the wet ink stamp, those people should follow a process of doing the no time limit, and then you'll be able to, of course, carry on working here without any problem. So bear that in mind. The next or another thing you want to take note of it is sɛ woyɛ the e-visa na wontumi ɛnka sɛ wasitena na ayera anaa wo card ayera. You don't have anything to hold, so it is invisible. Wasitena na ɛyɛ invisible. Based on that, won't mean customer 2 kwan akọ Ghana obi abewia me card obi abewia me baby passport no na abia ebeyira but was it na dey UK ha there you can't get lost because it is electronic. You can always go online to your computer, to your phone, and everywhere. Now I check and say ampa who was it na so it is not. It's a good idea. So you don't have to hold anything. Now also, so I have had instances. I've been able to Ghana documents with the e-visa, the visa, and there was a document the passport. Well, with passport there you still have it in the but was sitting there, it cannot get lost, and you don't have to panic with that at all. No physical documents will be held, and so people should not worry too much about that. Yes, so and no any a bit of updates are the person etuja. Those with expired biometric residence permits will not be able to travel internationally without an e-visa. So let's take note of this very, very carefully. So our biometric residence permits are one year e-visa now meant to coin based on the information we have. It may change, but I can say those with expired, the word is expired biometric residence permit will not be able to travel internationally without an e-visa. Those with e-visas need to make sure they have uploaded their UKVI online account. They have uploaded. If there's any uploading to be made, you do the uploading in terms of your features, everything. Make sure you do everything, the scanning, and also update your account before you travel out of the UK. And yes, sir, over 2 coin, now you go and get stranded on your way back. Timame Sisubium, Yanga Yekra biometric residence permit. Say, card na expire. Na se, won't need e-visa. Utu kwaya, ebeye ding se ubesign ababak. So those with expired biometric residence permits will not be able to travel internationally without an e-visa. So I just want to encourage Ubia said, yes, in order not to go and get stranded in a country where you haven't prepared so now for a month or 2 or 3. Yes, so say yeah, bomoding na onye the e-visa no. Now on that basis, wait near to call asayaba without any problem. So card near expiring as long as you have your e-visa which is updated, you are fine. It shouldn't be a problem. So these are a few updates I thought that I should let my people know before we go on to how to save some money on application fees. How to save money on application fees. DJ, I don't know, sir, who questions about what I have talked about before I go on. And okay, sir.
Lawyer, if you say so so now we are not the question saying about me to the so
okay. Now, how to save money on application fees? Now, there are some times applications be now under normal circumstances and but because nemunti and not those applications, and it's to be honest with you, Toribia yes and a home office so and can't trust application away as you can say menye omo di omo sika na omo pe and so we the they will accept it gladly and then they will take your money joyfully. na omo a refuse application ana na omo ama 2.5 years, whereas anka wo bibi fufura anka wobetumi aye to save some money on the application. Number 1, set woyɛ obi a wowɔ 2.5 years no so, and wobɛnya 10 years. If you wayɛ 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5, wayɛ it 4 times. Now last one na yɛde ama wo no, wohwɛ a ɛde wobɛkɔ into 11 years or 12 years no mu, because all the application ni kɔ a akɔkyɛ wɔ hɔ, akɔdi ebia 1 year wɔ hɔ ana 10 months wɔ hɔ. Now you count the 10 years from the first time na yɛde ɛma wo no. You count the 10 years from the first one na yɛde ɛma wo no. On that basis, say ebia yɛma first one in 2012 plus 10 years is 2022. And I am our first one in 2003 plus 10 years is 2023. Now, so the last one I amount, it takes you up to 2025. And Sasa will train Mark 2025, no, edu ansana wakwa will indefinite leave to remain. Once when you track the 10 years in 2023, go ahead, let's submit the application for your indefinite leave to remain. That is that. And we are point number 1. Point number 2. Say, hey, dear, with the application you go to move for the 4th time, no. Whilst our application no. Whilst application home office. Now we track 10 years. This is how to save the money. Why your first 2.5 years? Second 2.5 years, that is a total of 5 years. Third 2.5 years, a total of 7.5 years. Now you're the fourth one I would call you know, and that's so our home office. Now so with 10 years, now we calculate from when you my first one now. When you track 10 years, what's application that's our home office? Your decision. So take note of this again. We are first one in 2003, second one, third one, fourth one out the corner, and that's our home office. Meanwhile, 10 years now as 2023, as application that's our home office. Whilst I work to save yourself money, baby or your friend variation of application, you can vary that application. And to Sauko lawyer and I'll be home here. You buy another application for your indefinite leave to remain. Whilst our application that's what home office for. Yen chang emma omunye decision and sani asanko ye indefinite one. So we chang na omunye decision ni pass. The kana we channel and no echo. But so we have the variation of application whilst was sitting application that's our home office for now. So say no, remember so the fourth one we have 2.5 years. But whilst application it does no, we work for indefinite. Now, because you cannot have 2 applications at the same time, second one now why no, indefinite one now why no, ebeka ko track first one no more. Variation of the application. Second one now which is indefinite, ebeka ko track the 2.5 years now decision in yamba now once why 2 applications, the home office for better show what Bissau said, we note that you have 2 applications running in the home office. Which of them do you want to pursue and which do you want to withdraw? Now your culture almost say we want to withdraw the 2.5 years there because you have now scored 10 years in the UK and therefore what your life in the UK, what your B1, what percentage, we are shifting the application from the 2.5 years to indefinite leave for you. Once we make the home office aware of that, it is quite technical. When you the right form now, you will play ball with you, so you need to know the right thing. You need to know what you are doing. Otherwise, you'll be wasting more time, and of course, they can make a decision and then you lose your money. Ebanisa, we will respond to them. When we respond to them, we will draw which one we have to withdraw. Now, Sikana would try for the 2.5 years. No, Home Office will refund that money back to you. Then you would have paid for your indefinite. The indefinite leave application will continue, but the Home Office will refund the 3,000 plus now would try here for IHS. Any application fee now would try for the 2.5 years. No, the Home Office will refund that one back to you. You've saved yourself over £3,600. That is how to save some money on Home Office applications. But that is only and only if your application is outstanding at the Home Office and you have clocked the 10 years lawful residence. That is it. Number 3 or number 2, whichever number you want to give it. Assuming that Obiaba, this country, Wawari, Waba. Okoji first, Yemani first 2.5 years, not a problem. Now, so, and I was Koji the second 2.5 years, but all Kwakoji the second 2.5 years, no. Not every document was not in place. All Anumpo Yamani second 2.5 years. Now, a total of 5 years. So, Yamani first 2.5 years, Wapa. We try and maybe Wakoji a second 2.5 years, so which makes a total of 5 years. Afe or Kwakoji the indefinite leave to remain, but unfortunately, one pass it the life in the UK test, and I one pass it the B1 and so, and our pass it B1 no, now so one pass it the life in the UK test. Wo sane pano, men chen emma wasitna na enwu ewo wonsam ewu pe you'll be in trouble. So what you do is you make another application to the Home Office for another 2 years or 2.5 years, so that you can now be able to write and pass the life in the UK test. Now, so what they call na application that's so we control in the life in the UK test. Now we are passing and now. Niamika first no. Go and make an indefinite leave application to vary the application which is already there. Again, you end up saving yourself over £3,600. You pay the indefinite leave application of £2,885, and the Home Office will have to refund your £3,600 and over pounds to you because we were 2 applications. Our Home Office. The second one is more powerful, which is the indefinite one, is more powerful than the first one, which is 2.5 years. On that basis, the Home Office would take the indefinite one once you instruct as such, and then they will withdraw the 2.5 years. Now, they will indefinitely leave no at the amount, and they'll refund your money to you. You've saved money on the application. Smart way to do it. But I've said it is technical. If you're not careful, you will mess it up. So please speak to us, speak to your lawyer if you have one, speak to a legal person who understands how these things work. Otherwise, you will end up throwing good money after the bad one. So please take note of that. And see, so what passing life in the UK is to see an application that's over. Many can say, we never do a new application, come to us, see your lawyer, see whoever is acting on your behalf, let them quickly vary that application for you, and then you'll be fine. The next thing is set, abofra ewo krom ha. Ebia ubaye no ubano within 7 years. Into why your first 2.5 years amano, and I would na abofra so, and I wonya with 2.5 years. Uwa ubani so na wonya with 2.5 years. Abofra so Yamani 2.5 years. Utria woodie, if you're 2,000 something or 3,000 something. Abofranos utria the same amount emano. So say no, 2.5 years now the amount ewu and a quaku. Who pesa we one kasa extension. Abofranos who pesa we extension emano. This is what I would advise. This is my advice. To save you money, Remember, says, oh, abofra no krom ha. Emrani say, se oh no krom ha na se odi 7 years. Oh, kwakoji indefinite leave to remain. Abofra not 2.5 years. And the man koye 2.5 years application and say sika koye indefinite leave application. Not 2.5 years, but indefinite leave to remain application. Child settlement application. That is how to save money. Don't waste money on 2.5 years, 2.5 years. Don't waste that money, but rather apply for the child as a settled person. Apply for settlement for the child because we grew 7 years. You save yourself a lot of money. And now, who first 2.5 years for Ubano? Wono wasitna ni eko abofra bi nso eko wo pese wo ye wo extension. The point is this, and this is my question. So abofra no on two kwan and I won't find two kwan a, why do you go and waste money 3,600 pounds and over one rekwan? Uji sa card ni mana on find nko baby a on two kwan nko baby on ko Ghana nko holiday. Just say udi 3,600 udi amount fikesi for na card no eda ho keke waste anyesa abofra no kwa koyi dwuma bi disika bi aba ana o two kwan bi for whatever reason card no eda ho sa 2 years no have a term 2.5 years no have a term, you've just wasted money. And see sa na tia say once abofra no did 7 years no wono ana wonya the 7 years mpo a wa won wo krom ha, that is the word, wa won wo krom ha eventually over 7 and 10 years wo mame ana papa ana mame any papa mon konkoye mo 2.5 years leave application based on ubano or sitno onia sitno mo awofo no still no mo banya mo sitna because in the beginning na bofra ne nia sitna na mo nya anyway because the child was 7 years old. If you are not a British, that's a different matter altogether. But what these 7 years now, so the year, remember, so not only at the time now, so at the year, I'm so at the year. In the same way, say, and now you can say, I'm finding now as long as I did 7 years, no, still no, papa, any man, bet me at once based on the same child, now with the 2.5 years extension. By the time with 2.5 years, baby, and not move on, no, 10 years. Kakra, when you have 10 years back, they are registered as a British citizen. And to what say this abofra serve 3,000 pounds nanka, who go to your home office fee and IHS. No, what service as you can, we got 10 years. Now you're in registration as a British citizen. Sasikana and Kanamudi Ekwakoye 2.5 years. Maybe the Sasikana Ediakoye British citizenship application ama abofra. You've saved money. You've saved yourself thousands of pounds. And you saved about over 5,000 pounds. And see, my advice is Sabofan Eben 7 years. What will Kroma or 7 years and now or 10 years? Sebe year, we'll just 7 and what indefinite, and I'll try 10 waji the British citizenship amount. So 2.5 years now. So we'll probably find into choir any place. There's no point to waste your money in that respect. Yes. Also, say, yeah, more 2.5, so 2.5. Now, akaka krana papa, anamami, anyani indefinite leave to remain. It will come her. Adenti na mobile size sika edia renew ama bofane sa womre kwanka. Se papa no, anamami no nyani indefinite leave. Mubana, mobile will come her no. Mubetimi register no as a British citizen straight away rather than to continue with the 2.5 for this child when you could again register the child as a British citizen once ni papa enya indefinite leave to remain and ani maame enya indefinite leave to remain. Se uwa bofran ewo krom ha, that is an option for you to elect rather than spending 3,600 4 times for this child. For me, I think the money is worth saving for something else rather than set or the various application will require. The child is not going to go anywhere. The next thing I'm going to make about before we maybe open the lines for and I would start taking messages and you said, now, set who walk 2.5 year route, Mister, on the 10 years route, so or 2.5 years on the 10 year route, Mister. It is possible, sir, you can switch from the 10 years now about 5 year route, Mister. Now, main kebium. So, due to 10 year route, Mister, you have to do the 2.5 years 4 times. The first one, the second one, the third one, and then the fourth one. The fifth one, Ansana Ubeko for indefinite leave to remain. A lot of people go for the indefinite during the fourth application. It will be refused. It will 100% be refused because you haven't met the 10-year requirement. And to don't go and waste money for indefinite leave to remain application, whereas you are not qualified for the indefinite leave to remain. They will refuse your application, they will take the money, and then you'll be asked. Yebaka was assigned Brabant Chair IHS of £2,587 and 50p on top of the 2,885 now we share for indefinite leave where you were not qualified for it. So you'll be paying over £5,000. That is 2,885 plus 2,587.50. You have gone way over £5,000, whereas NCAT, all you have to pay would have been 3,600 plus. Please, if you are not qualified for indefinite, men conquer indefinite leave application. Say, oh, 2.5 years, and so 4 times. Fifth time, ansana, indefinite leave to remain. Men conquer on the fourth one. Meaning, send people say, yes, see. If you mean, madam, will be see, yes, see. Not would you seek air sing, that is Osika and air sing, no. Yes, see, now Osika air sing, yes, see, Osika air sing. Please make sure you are qualified before you put your application out there for your child, yourself, or anything. That is it. So, if you haven't done the 10 years, menquire indefinite leave application. Save money. Wait. We've got 10 years now. Now, what with indefinite leave application? Don't waste £5,000. Don't waste £6,000. Then the other thing is, set over 10-year route, Niswa, a possible see you can switch from the 10-year route to the 5-year route, Niswa. From the 10 years to the 5 years. So the fact that you were to 10 years, Niswa, and just walk 10 years now. There are some categories of people who cannot switch. I agree. But there are other categories you can switch. Abia as a partner, as a parent, mono me as switch from 10 years to the 5-year route. So if you are a partner on the 10-year route, requirements be or so meet those requirements me as switch from the 10 years now I call 5 years. And you switch from the 10 years to the 5 years. And here said you will have to remain on the 10-year route. So every time you apply, you pay. Every time you apply, you pay a lot of money. Your home office fee of £1,258, I think. And which your IHS of £2,587 and 50p. Yeah, the bottom one, that is over 3,000. Let me just see what that amount will give us. If for briefly, just briefly, yet we have 2587.50 plus 1258. That is 3,845 pounds and 50p. 3,845 pounds 50p for one application. Now we are the 4 times, that will be a total of 15,000 382 pounds. 15,382 pounds. Why would you waste this money? Why would you want to be wasting this money if you can just do with half of that? It will switch it from the 10 years to the 5 years. You would technically be saving yourself about half. It could be less, but about half of this money. You'll be saving yourself and you cry about 7,000, 6,000, or 5,000 pounds. Don't waste money. Don't waste this money. So, who a 10-year-old Niswa, speak to a legal person who understands how to switch you. May say, may clients say, you're more 10 years nipe, because you say, for your wait 6 months time and 7 months time, come back to me, may a new application amount, near straight you from the 10 years to the 5-year route. Yeah, the conswa, yeah, do over to the 5-year route, no so. Over started the 5 years, no, 2.5, 2.5, total of 5 years, near call for your indefinite leave to remain for you. So don't wait until the 10 years, the full 10 years is exhausted before you make an application for indefinite. Please, you can switch from 10 to 5 years, and you save yourself thousands and thousands of pounds. And you save yourself about 5,000 pounds, and you save yourself time as well. Why would you want to be on the 10 years if you can be on the 5 years? But categories of people are among to switch here. Among private life, no so. Yeah, why would I would now have 20 years and I would have 20 years now, the amount 2.5 years. No. So Sana Etia, you do not or you cannot switch unless maybe to a partner or to a parent, but you can't switch by yourself. So Mono, you have to continue on that route until you get your indefinitely to remain in the UK. So that is how to save money on these applications. Now, say, oh, we are British citizen. Not say, oh, ubano outside the UK. You are a British citizen and you give birth to your child outside the UK. Not say, upɛ sɛ ubane ɛba abɛka wo nsa ɛwɔ kurom ha. There are 3 types of applications that people make, but only one type of application has to be made. The first one a lot of people make and they get it wrong. ASF, application under the immigration rules. Paragraph 297 of the immigration rules. Now, they ask for indefinite leave to be given to the child to come. Home Office may give the indefinite leave, but it's a waste of money. You need to prove sole responsibility. You need to prove you have to pay the Home Office fee. It's waste of money. So we are British, and our outside the UK. Ubano or you're British citizen. If you are British, other than by descent, but you are British by registration, your child is automatically a British citizen if the child was born outside the UK. Men konkoye 297 application. Ombeji usika. Wa hwe kra ma refuse you. I'm refuse you a sika na hwe abofans wan hwe a ye mfa ma no. Wan hwe nso a no atra 18 years and the problem the brain edi aba. So that is a problem. That is a problem. And a bill application under Appendix FM, paragraph or section EC-C. That is also an inaccurate or improper application. Don't waste money there. A hawkwani the overture Home Office fee, SNCR IHS. What your home office fee of about £1,990, what your IHS over £3,200, over £5,000. It is waste of money. Don't do that application. You are wasting money. Don't. What you have to do is apply for British passport for the child. You apply for British passport for the child straight away to come to the UK with their British passport, not with stamp in their passport or with the net in their passport or with visa, David, because Abufan will track that level because me papa and mommy are British and son outside the UK. On that basis, you are able to save yourself money and time. DJ, me the here. Say if there are some questions, I would answer. But a lot of times we waste money on some applications that we shouldn't have done, or we don't value until the decision comes. So that is where I will leave it today. If there are any questions, I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. Please, I'm due to apply for British passport next year. Richard Sego, hi, I hope you're doing well. You're due to apply for your British passport next year, but I a gap of 3 months, which made me paperless until I renewed my status again. I want to know if that would affect my application. Mr. Sego, what happened to the gap? Again, is see, could the home office ɛda hɔ saa na ɛwui ansa na the airco. So if you are due to apply for your British passport next year, a gap of 3 months which made me paperless. Paperless. So I want to know what that gap is. So please send me further information. I will see how best I can, apply that to the rules. Highest J. Does UK still issue BRP for new persons in the country, or it's now electronic system only? Very interesting. Obi ena kache obi sami say na adan na from now onwards no omo nyane electronic. Why do they have to still waste money in issuing this paper, this biometric residence permit? And I got about 7 biometric residence permits, about 7 and right. And then I think we got 1 or 2 today, but and right we got 7. So they are still issuing the biometric residence permit, even though from December it's going to be useless. Still no, they are issuing it. And kame me opposition I may advise the home office and kame can say any new applications from now onwards should be electronically issued so that you don't have to have the card. You ever sign you letter no electronically for you. But I'm sorry, I'm not in the position to advise the home office, so they are doing what they have to do. But doing so would have saved a lot of money on this printing of these plastics and stuff. So yes, they are still issuing biometric residence permit, and then you have to do the e-visa yourself. Okay, thank you. All right, Richard Duche prefer. Richard, I hope you're doing well. What are the advantages of a British partner over EU partner? The advantages of a British partner over a EU partner, for me, maybe an EU partner, more worry if you married before 31st of December 2020, then you don't pay application fee. You don't pay home office fee. You don't pay IHS. That is if you were a family member before 31st of December 2020. No home office fee, no IHS fees. You apply straight and you are fine. Another advantage of EU nationals compared to British nationals is your question is the other way around, but I'm looking at it EU as opposed to a British. The advantage of having an EU national as a partner over a British citizen is that with the EU, the law allows something we call, the law permits something we call retain right of residence. Someone worry, Not arena lasted for 3 years. 3 years. And the relationship breaks down. Now you can prove that you've lived in the UK for 1 year out of the 3 years. And the EU national is in the UK at the date you started your divorce proceedings. And then you can also prove that after the divorce, what now from her onwards for the up to make it 5 years, you are able to go for your indefinite leave to remain in the UK. Whereas British citizen no, so who are a British citizen? Nase, nase, wono relationship ne break it down. Not only back in the relationship, and now there is no domestic abuse as evidence. Ah, then relationship need break it down and there's a divorce, you are stuck. You don't have that 3 years cushion. You for no a woman. In your case, you are finished. You have to go and start all over again by another route to get your stay. So those are some advantages EU nationals have over British partners. On the other hand, a British partner also has an advantage. If you are married to a British citizen, and you get your indefinite leave to remain and yeah no ubetime aya application for your indefinite your British citizenship. So you are married to a British citizen, you got your 2.5 years and another 2.5 years, a total of 5 years, and then you go for your indefinite. The very day you get your indefinite or the day after you get your indefinite, you can apply for your British citizenship under the provision of Section 6(2) of the British Nationality Act 1981. I think that's the provision. In that case, that is an advantage. Whereas under the EU ones, you have to wait for 1 year on top of the indefinite to make it 6 years. And Sana, wait to me, IGO, British citizenship. With regards to the English language or the life in the UK, whether you are married to a British citizen or you're married to an EU national, you all have to write the life in the UK test and the English language test level B1 and Sana Mwapako citizenship. So just on top of my head, these are some of the advantages that one has over the other or the other has over the other one. Thank you. Eric Dixon. Hi, Eric. Hi, lawyer. Hi. My BRP renewal application is in progress at the Home Office as a family dependent of someone married to a British national. Can I travel to an EU country with my EU passport? Yes, you are an EU national. So we are EU national. With my EU passport. It means you have a EU passport and you are going for British citizenship as well. My BRP renewal application is in progress at the Home Office as a family dependent of someone married to a British national. Very confusing. As a family dependent of someone married to a British national, can I travel to an EU country with my EU passport? Well, I don't get it very clearly, but let me just take it as the way I understand it. If you have an EU passport and you have the pre-settled status, yes, or settled status, you can travel out, you can come back in without a problem. Yes, you don't have that problem. But if you are saying your BRP renewal, as an EU national, you don't get BRP. You don't get BRP, you don't get card. If you're married to a person who is a British citizen and the application is in process at the Home Office, I and your if your BRP is still valid, possibly you can travel. But I would not normally advise that. I would say just wait until your leave counts. But if you still have a valid leave, once the application is pending, of course, you can travel whilst you are awaiting your decision. Same way, a person who has applied for British citizenship, we scan the document, you have your passport. Still, no one so wait me to cry until the decision is made. No about yet, which is swearing in ceremony. Salome Koi. Hello, my dear sister. I hope you are doing very well. A friend of mine is pregnant and struggling with work. Must she still meet the financial requirement in order to bring her spouse? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she has to meet the financial requirement regardless of her current condition. So if she's worked, now there's evidence that she was earning the 29,000 pounds. Remember, the law has changed. 29,000 pounds. 29,000 pounds. Then she can still bring the spouse because maybe said the employers no be manner letter say yes or now the P60 basically said or no she was earning or she had earned more than 29,000 pounds, and besides that or call maternity leave. The fact that the fact that she's pregnant doesn't mean she'll be totally she can't be sacked from work. She can still be working and be earning some money. But if the case is that wɔntumi nyɛ adwuma koraa at all, now of course they are not issuing her any pay slip or salary which will reflect in her account, then that will make it very difficult for her to bring the spouse. She may have to wait until or work, and then she goes back to work for 6 months or work for 7 months, then she can then bring the spouse to join her here. Yeah? But she needs to meet the financial requirement. Derek also, I would like to bring my 10-year-old son to the UK. I'm a British citizen and I live with, and he lives with his mom in Ghana. You are a British citizen, your child is 10 years old, your child lives with a mother in Ghana. The question is, were you British before the child was born? If you were British before your child was born, then under Section 2 of the British Nationality Act of 1981, your child is automatically a British citizen. In that case, you are able to apply for British passport for your child to join you here, regardless of the fact that on any mami and ete. That is only and only if who are evidence I actually say we are British and sana you can apply for British passport for the child, overseas passport. But na ukra, ebia na ukra indefinite leave to remain. And sana o ubano ewo Ghana. In that case, ubano onye British citizen. And to ubaya application amano under the immigration rules, the right rules. No, ama ubano amanaba. But the view of higher is sole responsibility. The facts abofra no wɔ ne maame nkyɛn no wontumi ɛnkyerɛ sɛ wo nko ara na wohwɛ no. There is no way wo a wote kurom ha wobɛkyerɛ sɛ wo nko ara na wohwɛ abofra a wɔte ne maame nkyɛn. Wɔkɔ school a ne maame na ɛde ne kɔ. Ɔkɔ GP, ɔkɔ hospital a ne maame na ɛde ne kɔ. Ne ntaade hyia mu ne maame na ɛhwɛ no. Yes, wosɛ ne sika, but so responsibility goes beyond sending money. The mother makes the major decisions. There are some decisions. Kwani mama yɛ kransa no waka akyerɛ. Abofra ne nti apo a ne ho ayɛ hyehyehye na ɔpɛ sɛ ɔde ne kɔ hospital a ɔntwɛn ɛnya go ahead from you before she takes the child to the hospital. No, of course not. She will do that and later catch ano waka akyerɛ so na kodwo kora na ne ho mfa no nti de ne kɔ hospital. So it is the mother who is making the major decisions. So with this in mind, sɛ abofra no wɔ ne maame nkyɛn a it is going to be very difficult. In fact, very difficult for you to prove that you have sole responsibility. Now, the abofana. In a scenario, the abofana and take on telema menchain. I'm just looking at a scenario or take who will busi and be and any mammy busi and you, but who busi and be in China abofana chair. That is a different matter altogether. And it's always me actually say abofana on telema menchain, meaning my and something. But what's in my mention, or take me busi and be me sister Vincent, Mrs. Anna Airshano, now maybe this come money. On that case, what me try, then of course you can work out the sole responsibility with the necessary documents. Ubano Betene. Abredu Kwame, hi, Mr. Abredu. Good evening, please. My wife is greeting school. I want to visit the graduation. Oh, your wife is graduating or she's finishing school, I guess, and you want to visit her graduation. But I'm in UAE. I don't have strong ties to my strong ties. My boss is sponsor UK. So please, what are the requirements? Well, I'm sure your boss is ready to sponsor your application to come and visit you, to come and witness your wife's, um, what do you call it, graduation. Um, Graduation. Your boss is ready to sponsor. That is the way I understand it. But you yourself, one can also need strong ties to the UAE. If that is the case, you can't, or I can't guarantee the outcome of this application. If your boss is willing to sponsor it, of course, you can go ahead and make that application. Over here, letter from the school, the invite letter to show some over for the graduation, etc., etc. But because you don't have strong ties, I can't say much about whether the visa will be granted or not. But of course, I can't discourage you from proceeding with the application and just hope that it will be considered. Please, that's a 2.5 year start from the time of decision or the time of cohabitation. The period of cohabitation is not counted as a legal period of being in the UK. If you didn't have a valid leave to be in the UK, you can cohabit for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It does not count as lawful residence here in the UK. The only time you are considered as lawfully, legally resident in the UK is if or when you are issued the letter to say Yamawa Sitla. In that case, you start counting the 2.5 years from that date, not before you got that. Eric Dixon, can one apply for settled status from pre-settled status as a result of receiving a confirmation from the Home Office to do so? Not 5 years yet in the UK though. I would not advise you to do so. If you are not 5 years, don't apply. Wait until you're 5 years. Otherwise, they'll just refuse you or they'll just issue another 5 years, which is you don't need anyway. So just wait. If you're 5 years now, then you can go ahead and apply for your indefinite leave to remain under the EU settlement scheme. Nati Bongo, hi lawyer, hi Nati. When is it appropriate to apply for 2.5 years extension if it's expiring in November? Thanks. Now, if it's expiring in November, then you can apply in October. It's usually 28 days, within 28 days before it expires. So, assuming it's expiring on the 1st of November, then you have to apply from the 3rd of October. Or if it's applying at the end of November, let's say 30th November, then you can apply from the 3rd of November, means you're within 28. So count 28 days from when it's expiring and count it backwards. And within that period, you can submit your application for your extension. Peter 2014. Hello. I am due for my indefinite leave to remain. I have written the life in the UK test and have passed. Do I need to have the English test or B1 test as a dependent visa? Well, if you are due for the indefinite and you are more than 18 years and under 65 years, I would advise you to do the B1 unless you have a first degree. If you have a first degree in the UK, you can use that. If you've got a first degree from outside the UK, then get it to ECTIS, ECCTIS, for them to confirm that your degree is equivalent to a degree in the UK. With that, you are able to go for your indefinite leave to remain. But I would always err on the side of caution by saying, please, it's better to spend the £150 for your B1 than to have a refusal, which will cost you 3,600 or 2,885 pounds. That is my view anyway. Thank you. How does the e-visa work for you at the airport outside UK when traveling to and returning Yes, it would work. Now, initially or before, previously, we all used to have our visas in our passport, like the stamps in our passport, the point of entry in any other country. They look at that, they accept it that it's a genuine, they let you in. And then every year sticker no, and also they accept it as genuine, they let you in. And then we change to the card. People were concerned that a card did say, who the call gonna wear down say, who has it not? The system will all be programmed, will be updated, and they will accept that as evidence that you have the right to. The same way we are now going to the e-visa. All the systems will be updated across the world electronically. I believe all countries are now in the process of updating their softwares to suit the UK e-visa requirement. And Saudu Ghana and Awako Ghana Uba, I believe there will be a system that will input your details and it will show straight from the Home Office site say who are Asitna to come to the UK. It will be across board. So don't have to worry about it at all. I have answered this one, Derek Owusu. The child lives with the mother in Ghana, and you are British. He was born before I became a British citizen. Well, if you was born before you became a British citizen, then you have to apply under paragraph 297 of the immigration rules, and you have to prove what we call the sole responsibility. That is very difficult because the child is living with the mother. How can you prove that? Abufra ɔwɔ maame nkyɛn no, ne maame nyɛ hwee, wo na woyɛ biribiara ɛma no. That is very difficult. Very, very difficult. Almost impossible, if I should put it that way. So, if you want to talk to us, come, let's sit down and I would advise you as to what the law says. And we take it from there. Yes? Thank you. Thank you. And Mel Kwabena, hello, Papa. How can I get a Ghanaian citizenship? A Ghanaian citizenship, if your father is a Ghanaian, you're a Ghanaian. If your mother is a Ghanaian, you are a Ghanaian. If your father's father, as your grandfather, is a Ghanaian, you're a Ghanaian. If your father's father's father, your great grandfather is a Ghanaian, you're a Ghanaian. If your mother's father is a Ghanaian, you're a Ghanaian. If your mother's father's father was a Ghanaian or father's mother was a Ghanaian, you're a Ghanaian. So you just have to trace your link to your lineage to Ghana through any of your parents, you're a Ghanaian. Or if you get married to a Ghanaian national, there are some residential requirements in Ghana for you to be there, just as is required for people to be in the UK to meet the residential requirement. The same way, if you meet the residential requirements in Ghana by getting married to a Ghanaian national, living there for some number of years, you will certainly meet the requirements. And then you will be able to apply for your naturalization as a Ghanaian citizen to be in that country. Thank you. Samuel Isiama, hi Sammy. Can I travel with my leave to enter? I only started here in the UK. I only started leave. Well, yes, as long as you have your leave to enter, which is still valid, you are able to travel. You are able to travel. I want to know when it expires. Usually, you are given 3 months. If you have leave to enter as a spouse or as a parent or as a student or anything, it's normally valid for a period. Just make sure that you travel within the validity and you return within the valid period of that leave. If it expires before you get back, you will be stuck outside. So make sure if you travel outside, you get back here before it expires. Please, please, please. DJ. I believe we have exhausted the questions.
Lawyer,
Yes.
what kind of you?
Maybe DJ.
Why akpe esia. Me who follow up from Richard Sego. I don't know so be kaya or the BB buy, but follow up. I think say follow up.
Okay, I say, please, the COVID caused it and later renewed it with exceptional assurance extension. Well, yes, I remember. I'm so I say 3 months, 3 months gap would be a barrier. If it is COVID, if it is due to COVID, we all know the effect of COVID, and the Home Office had some exceptions and exemptions for people in that category. I think you should be fine, Richard. If it is due to the COVID, you should be fine.
All right, lawyer wisdom akawo wise man solicitors. Mo bisa the phone numbers no, and the phone number there. Me the better screen so see na or written it out. Me on angasa bobo ni office location. And so obi a usabe kan into share screen to see how share me a. Ne phone numbers no and go on office line ne mobile number. Ubetimi afre no. Baby I will be our Ghana wo to kwan baby I will be o UK o. Ubetimi afre no. But lawyer wisdom aka wise man solicitors yeah that's it say ne yeah they abegu Friday they abegu nyame ya adoma next week e be say about office location omo London no omo betimi akọ Dawson Junction hello there but say my address na make I show say mun ko Dawson unu ma bisa Dawson market unu ma say marketer gasa o hwehwe wana money matters I didn't know body ni nyina aka no be shop o
Hey, I beg you. I beg.
Those junction McDonald's or McDonald's no cheap internet adjacent and answer opposite lawyer.
Behind.
Behind. Okay, behind. Or the cheap. You do McDonald's also. You do one officer catch almost other McDonald's no be brave
Big Mac.
And also like a big brave mouth. Catch almost say meme credits. Almost fan mouth. Cut two. Almost the bed bro. Kesiye pa. Lawyer office location. Nah, you signing out. That's it.
It's with us. You've been great. You've been great all the time as usual. You are such an exceptional individual. Thank you. When are you coming around? Your men can. Your point.
What about take it time, me? What take it time,
Fear not.
Me will be na me sanka me bisa but me twem.
Yes,
na me be bisa quick one say bi mo on posti nya me bisa intro no mudio so no kura bi wo mo. But maybe I may bisa next week bi no aka me will be quick no mo ka bi about student updates bi then over CKBS so kura ni ade me will be quick na me say me bisa.
Yes. I can do my research on it. I haven't
my phone so there na nyama na basa anti bi wa na buffer me so
no problem.
I think I've seen it. Or say I don't know how to use it. Or say UK visa changes. Or say effective from January 2025. Students coming to London will have to show evidence of having £1,483 monthly. And I'll say in quotes, I'll say 13,348 for 9 months course. I don't know, but maybe I'll send it to you.
Send it over.
Have a look at it. And I find it out. And the crazy woman, because what says you see there. Social media and be to in Futrogun go for any without any credible source. Yeah.
Schools in London are more expensive than schools outside London, universities. So the residential, the accommodation is more expensive. The living expenses requirement is more expensive compared to schools outside the UK, like Adia, Middlesbrough, Southampton, Northampton, those Sunderland, and all those places. And I'll take a read and then we would know. Why smart solicitors? Yeah, number 18 to 22 Ashwin Street, 8 to 9 the Print House, 18 to 22 Ashwin Street, 8 to 9 the Print House, Dalston, London, E8 3DL. Telephone numbers near 0208 0165 384, 0208 0165 384. Mobile number near 079 31 411 042. 07931 411 042. Yeah, what Dalston Junction. Buses need a baby bus 149 from London Bridge to Edmonton Green, all the way there. From bus 242, 243, 242. Buses here, bus 488, bus 67, bus 78, Nina Efa Dalston Junction. And now Udi training so from Richmond to Stratford, oversee what Dalston Kingsland. That is in front of the train station, in front of the Dalston Market. Now, what you turn left, you turn right, you come down to the McDonald's. We are behind the McDonald's. Now, if you don't know where to find the McDonald's, just go to the market, look for Money Matters. As DJ Nyami has said, look for Money Matters, look for Ajua, look for Adum, look for Katie Restaurant, look for Mohammed. All of them are there. Ubisa for wise smart solicitors. You can't miss us. Come over, Yebe show. Ubankwa, Yebe show. Uba, Yebe show. Now Ufi, West Croydon, now Uba, Dawson Market, and I'll call Highbury and Islington. Ubasi or Dawson Junction. We have Dawson Junction and Dawson Kingsland. We are between these train stations with loads of buses. Bus 38 from Victoria to Clapton Pond. All these buses fly this route. Please, if you have any issues, give us a call as much as we can. We'll give you the right direction. We'll tell it to you. Keep your money, we keep our peace of mind. We don't do try and error, baby. We'll be sure and certain that this should work, this should not work. So you can't tell now, so DJ, we will GDA, yeah, at least you can't tell. Then based on who GDA no, yeah. But we will tell you that this is the law, this is the fact. We put it together, Ebefa and Efa, before we proceed. DJ, thank you.
Hey, lawyer.
Thank you.
My lawyer, my buy UK sign phone. My buy UK bear 3 times.
Oh, now I said 3 days.
I'm out for say, hey, Nyame, you cannot do so, bra, different place. Maybe you can second remember different place, but you can there. If my end the idea, but because maybe I want to umbre cry, who officer you are Kakoni idea or money idea, or fast a corner market cinema. I'm say, lawyer, the only BBB. Open it, Bibia, everyone and what.
Then you are going to do
you can hear best about you, but not different countries. Almost come here.
Almost sponsor.
Come no, I never tell. You see how much I can flight tickets in the price.
Almost sponsor.
When they Obi or Germany come, Obi to or US, Obi to Canada, say come. You plan it, you remember plan it and sana yaba. Because you be stranded.
Yes.
And now where na makana adequate preparation, best adequate preparation.
Almost sponsor.
Almost sponsor the adequate preparation. Who prepares and wait to anamo. Now be corner worry na fe na ukako pechi na say no yes sir. You take your time, prepare so to and na make a take your time.
Yeah.
Make sure say we lay foundation in you. Say that be unko extra. Fe na be frɛ. Oh, Nyame makoko wa uni mobi wa ha. No. So we lay foundation. Say go for near 4 5 nyanko for 5 conquer almost on bejo. It is a way failure. We head there ba ku be fa. Analo ya mwa. And I'll walk of funny papa say bra we do on a branch am ni ka say no do send family member we do the phone. So video mungo he or Canada. I stranded airport. I feel na ye pro ni we wa ha. I Charlie, I stranded. I am my planning.
But we are family members so family members so now when them say nipa want me accommodate na man assurance they say umbra. Because
yeah, me can also so now me man also I obi can send me and I know say who started process ni ade e almost say ebia unya visa no It's very sure say, oh yeah, process woman update. Who be your visa ni we no. We started to ticket to man date no.
That's sorry, nice.
If the Oba na if they no about time with himself flight we e ba be arrive this time. Man, you will do me phone. Why?
Baby, and then you're fair. Money Panintia says, look, yes, the situation has changed. And don't to say, Uber, I can't accommodate you. Now, why alternative plans? But Oman and assurance not going to do effort now. It can even lead to a return. Not what's said the final record. So, look, if you can't accommodate, let's be honest. If you can't, you can't. People's circumstances do change. So,
Yeah.
for me, I think we should just be honest with each other. It will create a lot of peace of mind. Rather than set what we're doing and then stranded, what fret uncle. Hey, it can be crazy. It can be crazy. Yeah. Especially who ban the night they don't do anywhere, the job quite or airport for eventually next day Charlie back to sender. Yeah, it's serious.
Hey, sir, o kono, o be free Ghana kono. And they me who be da o.
They
Yes,
don't
sir.
know.
And then I him for ne almost o. Now, o first timer, o be to kwan. Obi anye sa o to kwan kran. First time they don't know the way. Hey, and let's work ho. And say they refuse to their yamo port of entry yamo on road and so people payo.
Oh,
Lawyer, me da say mami ja ho, me da say
okay.
you better lawyer wisdom akawa say wise man solicitors every Fridays be amene no ha say 5:30 GMT Ghana time 5:30 to UK I'm only in 1 hour until 6:30 mene no ha to 7 UK for no dey 8 na iwi I hope say na mo way am dey buy nyina so it otimi yi mo anu ya dey obetimi contact omo lawyer they're very good. A boy Juma, or a champion man, or Binfu. And I'm a US lawyer, moons some past weeks, meaning on by no one said I'm fan of Kakra, but I hope somebody back Abba. But with me, I contact no, I'll show you videos now. US, a ban US, and the details in your obey me up. Bench or bounce back, and I started a USD, no, a lawyer, the meaning UK. And Abba so many year Abba underscore attorney, immigration attorney. Wait me checking our social media platforms. So very good. Wait me reaching out. We share videos. Someone following our YouTube channel. No, we share videos. I'll be on the contact. So wait me contact. No, into yeah. Follow, subscribe to your channel SVTV Africa. Our YouTube channel. Follow on Facebook. So. YouTube now DHL be hu nyama bebre story an American brand dey also question in some of kind ejuma opportunities near dem ntie mon follow yen obeso tu kwan dia headquarters na ha obeso foreign countries bia ha se dey obinya fila no follow yen on YouTube SVTV Africa na subscribe me notification bell no say be ya on me say your content no na try say video bia dey be obehwe e be boa me da say obeso ba me show no so bi so a me numbers there Facebook page or YouTube channel so my numbers no Facebook no only one number na +233 240 677 898 and other number na +233 240 244 +233 244 790 902. Just WhatsApp me and I send me voice note. Yeah, me be me about show this be share me story asa. Me ni obi akasa o Ghana make sure so internet near we go vibe. And then I mean, my shout out to Omo joining me class, no. Omo joining live, no. Amazing Grace, see me US. You amazing, remember why? You go sponsor me. I go come. Amazing me that say SBTV Africa fan else or share pap. God First Media, thank you so much. Shout out to you two big ups. Say lawyer and DJ Nyame. Richard Asari, thank you so much. Richard said internet service. Richard, I know I was up. Me advert mobile. Me use turbo intercooler engineer. See me back 16. Me use 16 engines. Nti baako say baako ko offer me boom. or let's the whole Ghana cut off. Into what's happening? I mean, by a promo movie. What's happening? Anyway, Abimo Mohammed. Okay, Charles Elder Marfo. Thank you so much. Samuel Esiama, me that said I'm joining Alasan. Thank you so much. Ama Jesua, me that's all joining Mel Kwabena. Thank you. Derek Usu, Natibongo, Peter 2014. Peter 2014. Okay, so Richard Sego, Derek Ousu, Kwame Abradu, thank you so much. Samuel Mensambuche, thank you so much. Theophilus Enu, thank you so much. Eric Dixon, may I say, someone joining live in there. Salome Kwe, thank you so much, Salo. Shout out. One of you, Mike Ejekum. Thank you so much for joining us. Richard Doche Fefe. Thank you so much. Captain Jack. Is it Jake? Captain Jake Sparrow. Is it Jake or Jack? Captain Jack Sparrow. Okay. Highest J. Thank you so much. Ahmed Naziv. Thank you so much. Daniel Bacha, thank you so much. Jane Daku, thank you so much. Jane Daku 10, thank you so much. Nana Sam, thank you so much. Mama share live winning. I'm going to share SBTV Africa YouTube channel video. We are better drop a video, but I drop videos. If you subscribe to your channel, share now me as we are. Me I don't mind so. And I share a video link. No. When you invite your friends, someone will join here. Madam, I say, Shabu Krumana will be a tour. Never just to tour. So, tour.
Make we chop small. Delight Cocoa.
Delight Cocoa, the authentic, original taste of African porridge. Available in all African and Caribbean shops. Delight Cocoa. Ah, Ede.